If you've worked with small and medium-sized engines, you most likely won't have seen a stuffing box. This is because they're only fitted to certain types of engine, specifically very large types of engine. Stuffing boxes in a pump are fitted around the shaft to prevent leakage from inside the pump to the outside space. An engine stuffing box primarily prevents leakage from one space to another, but it has a few other purposes as well. The environment within the combustion space is very different to the environment in the crankcase. The pH value of the cylinder oil will be different to the pH value of the lubricating oil. The environment within the combustion space, if there's any moisture in there, is actually quite corrosive. We definitely don't want to risk any contaminated oil being carried over from the combustion space to the crankcase. For this reason, the oil that's drained out of the stuffing box is treated before we use it. We've got the stuffing box housing, which allows us to install the rings, and then it holds them in position. You can see the grooves here. Each one of these grooves is manufactured so that it can house one of the rings, whether it be a scraper ring or sealing ring. And then these rings, let me just install a couple. Scraper rings there. They slot into those grooves. The scraper rings and sealing rings, if I hide the stuffing box housing for a moment, at the top we've got some scraper rings. These are black items here. These are called lamellas. They're manufactured from iron and they're used to scrape off bits of debris and cylinder oil from the piston rod, which prevents it entering the crankcase. Lower down we've got some bronze pieces. These are sealing rings. The sealing rings are there to prevent scavenge air entering the crankcase. So scraper rings further up here and then sealing rings further down. Remember, all of these components, they're moving quite quickly, rotating like that. If there's any friction between the parts, then we're going to generate heat. If the exhaust gases are allowed to pass into the crankcase, they may also cause a crankcase explosion. The stuffing box is preventing this. Specifically, the sealing rings are preventing this. After the sealing rings, we go further down and we have a series of scraper rings. Here is one set of scraper rings indicated by these arrows. Here is another set. Here is another set. And here is another set.